going to go over how to set up your reporting for CloudComp in production. It's important in Salesforce not to roll example reports from managed packages into production when they point to a managed custom report type. We are covering this in the admin guide here. It's currently on page 46, and this is where we're talking about the importance of cloning the managed report types that come with the managed package and creating your own customizable report types. So please take this seriously with any managed app that you install in Salesforce, because if it has example reports that are driven by managed custom report types, then those report types will not be editable, meaning that you can't use the power of that feature in Salesforce simply because the report type that installed was managed, which we could think of as an unintended consequence of the Salesforce application packaging model, which otherwise is really great. I mean, there's so many great aspects to that model, but in this particular case, it's quite likely that people can wind up using copies of example reports, not really understanding that those are still pointing to a managed report type that is just not editable. So let's take a look at that here. Here are report types in setup in this org, and this is the managed report type that is driving this report. It's a CloudComp example report. So let's take a look at it. Notice that you can't actually edit the fields that are in it because, again, it's managed. And when you make new copies of the example report, they're all still going to point to this managed object. So if you're a skillful Salesforce admin, you may already know this. It's also worth mentioning that Salesforce has eased the pain of this situation a little bit by beginning to add custom fields that we create on objects to report types, and that seems to be happening whether or not they're managed, and that's really nice. That reduces the pain a little bit of this, again, as I said, Salesforce kind of unintended consequence of the packaging model. However, when I set up reporting, I want to be able to pull in fields from all over the place into my report types to be able to really get the full power. So when we're in production, we want to make sure that there aren't any copies of example reports that are pointing back to managed report types, thereby kind of hamstringing us and making it impossible to really get that power. So all you have to do it is just click clone, and we need to change the name so we know what it is, and we got to change the API name. So I'll just shorten this a little bit, and then I'm gonna just say custom, and over here on the API name, I'm just gonna modify that as well, because otherwise it won't let me save it on this clone. And we'll say custom there, and then I'll put custom right in here. How about custom for this org, something along those lines, and just save it. And that's all there is to it. And notice now, this report type you can edit, and that means that we can add fields via lookup from any of the objects that are here. For example, here's the plan assignment. Here are all the plan assignment fields. If I want to get those in here, start date, end date of the plan assignment, for example, that'd be really useful. I can do that. We can't do that when we're utilizing a managed custom report type. So now, all we would do from here is we would create a report that met our needs, just like this one, that instead of pointing to that managed report type that drove the example reports, we'll just have it point right at our customizable one, and then any number of copies could be made off that report in your org, and they will all be pointing to that customizable report type in your org, meaning we can come along at any point and add relationships and fields from a variety of objects, and those are all going to automatically become available in those reports. So that's the word on that. Please pay attention to this. It's very important, and this is not just CloudComp. This is really a best practice in Salesforce to ensure that your production reports are based on customizable report types.